the duties. The wife also owes the husband the duties. And we see from there that, as a matter of fact, their body belongs one to the other. So it's not another thing we should say among you. Borrowing from that, we see that in this fallen state of the world, they will say, oh, because it's there in the scriptures that your body is mine, my body is yours. So whatever we agree to do, you see a third party being and the husband be there, that is said to avoid fornication. Let every man, Corinthians 7:2-5. Quickly house builded, and by understanding intimacy. There are physical issues that manifest physically or maybe physiologically. So, but before we go through all that, it is important to note that while some of these challenges that we are going to be discussing are physical or physiological, quite a lot of them can also be traced to the spiritual angle. So we are saying, while we are going to be discussing these issues, we should not downplay the fact that when there are challenges in the home with respect to sexual intimacy, it may actually be a spiritual matter. So, and of course, to address spiritual matters, you need to go prayerful. So, but let's also consider other challenges. The first, cultural orientations or unscriptural spiritual inclinations about sex. That's a wrong understanding, is a misconception, which is not supported by the scriptures. So the husband can be the one to initiate sex, the wife can be the one to initiate sex, and they are both to enjoy it. It's not a case of the wife is a slave sex to the husband, no, or the other way around. Both of them can initiate and they are to enjoy. What we see is some women, because they don't want to be perceived by their husband as maybe sexual perverts, when they are in the mood or when they really want to have sex, they deny themselves of that because of how societal has sort of, made it to look. But that's a misconception. Another issue is fear of conceiving another baby. Of course, right, for those that are in the knowledge, they would expect that, okay, even if you are scared of conceiving babies, that's why you have family planning. But the truth is, some people are ignorant of this. And so what you see is that some couples go through what I call sexual holiday. They will say, oh, we've given birth to A, because we want to wait 2 or 3 years to give birth to B. Then they start sort of starving themselves or going on sex holiday instead of going for proper family planning so that they can continue to enjoy themselves. Some people also, even during pregnancy, they are not aware that there are certain ways you can go about having sex. So the Bible verse we have here is Hosea 4:6, which says, of course, that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So another issue that, another cause of sexual intimacy challenges is previous experience of sexual abuse, directly or indirectly, and this is quite major. So some people who are growing up were sexually molested or harassed, and this forms some trauma. It leaves some form of trauma in them, such that even when they behold their husband, first off, it may even hinder them in first settling down with someone. But eventually, when they even settle down, it affects their psyche when it comes to sexual activities. Of course, we'll still see a remedy for this later, which is counseling. We'll discuss that later. Another issue is libido issue or sexual drive issue or inadequate foreplay, that is inability to discover and or explore the erogenous part of the body. So by erogenous part, we mean sexually sensitive part of the body. So some couples, when they want to do this sex that we are talking about, they just go to the quote and unquote, the main thing that we all call sex in itself, forgetting that there's supposed to be a build-up to that. Particularly understanding that women have a longer duration to reach orgasm. We are talking to married people. And just as we learned last week, even that build-up could have started happening from the course of the day. Pick your phone, check up on your spouse. It's not just at night when it's time. You just want to drag the person and pull the person together. No, that's not the way to go about it. So that also can be his health challenge. That can rigidity, cold-heartedness, which links to one of the issues we spoke about earlier, maybe because of a previous experience. But this thing factor, so it could be marital unfaithfulness. So I be affected. So that's another challenge. That's another cause of sexual intimacy challenge. Then sometimes sexual appetite decreases in women after menopause, whereas there is many told Abraham that, oh, by this time next season you would have a baby. Sarah said, she laughed within herself and said, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure? My Lord being old, man's love has dropped for me or something. But it begins to declare. Chapman, where I was trying to break down different want to have sex, that you start saying sweet things. Give words of affirmation all through the day. Of course, not in deceit, not with deception. Mean what you say. When the person has sort of stereotyped, it's the man that goes to put on the gen. It's the man that sees to how the car is washed. The woman can sometimes just take it up upon herself if you don't use a car wash or something. Or just, try to put on the gent sometimes. The man to support in the kitchen. She's not just there to be a chef. Another love language is giving and receiving gifts. When you get gifts, be appreciative. Quality time. This is key. It cannot be overemphasized. And also physical touch. We had discussed that earlier about, foreplay before sex. Here people say, oh, Lagos, no, they sleep. So it's our responsibility. We must not allow busy schedules get in the way of that. So communication issues and busy schedules can be a likely cause of sexual intimacy challenge. Then the last one we have here is environmental factors. The example we have here is, for instance, being conscious of the presence of a third party in the surrounding, e.g. children. Some couples, when they begin to have children, it's just as if the sexual relationship goes down. That should not be the case. Because guess though, for someone that says, oh, I want to knock. So we of course, it's not as if apartments where maybe the mother-in-law has to. The husband